Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan, and this is the 14th race in season number 1 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We only have 3 more races until we get to the chase, and this is the Crown Royal presents the Steve Byrnes 400 in honor of Steve Byrnes, who is battling stage 4 cancer right now, and it is a very serious thing. And just honoring Steve Byrnes here for this race is the least that I can do. Uh, and I'm glad that I can dedicate this race towards him. And of course, I have a dirt moment when something like that happens. Of course. Anyway, let's get to the starting lineup. Blaine Keys starts on the pole. We got Justin Roberts alongside him, Trey Bartow, Jacob Reed, Regan Whitlock, Jesse Turner, Garrett Sonor, Mason Powers, Stuart Gratton, Gabriel Marcio, Biff Crafton, Jonathan Skivnicki, Cody Hagan, Diego Stevenson, Eric Powers, Cameron Gaydew, Caleb Hoffman, Aaron Walpole, Christian Master, J.J. Wording, Roger Carruth, Warren Henniger, Cameron Garlington, Joffrey Toussaint, Riley White, L.J. Mills, Aaron Lukes, Austin Spencer, Alan Cavagnaro, Matt Dalio, Adam Pinchon, and Zachary Fitzwater to the full field starting here today at Indianapolis. And there we go. So a 24-lap race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There are only 3 more races until the chase begins. So you need a win now if you want to get into the chase. And there are a lot of guys up front here that don't have wins yet, like Blaine Keys, Jacob Reed in the 19, Regan Whitlock in the 3. You got Garrett Sonor and Mason Powers. Neither of them have wins, and Gabriel Marcio doesn't have a win. So we'll see if any of those guys can get a win here today and make their way into the chase with only 3 races left. After this, we have the Watkins Glen race and the Nashville race. So it's going to be really interesting to see who makes it in the next couple of days. But anyway, we got this race right now. Blaine Keys and Justin Roberts are going to lead them off here in the Steve Byrnes 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The green flag is out, and we are underway here at Indy. Keys takes the lead. Here comes Bartow for second, underneath of Justin Roberts. Roberts falling back all the way to 5th place in the first couple of corners. Jacob Reed up to 3rd, and Jesse Turner in 4th. Here comes Mason Powers for 5th underneath of the 38, and here comes Trey Bartow for the lead, trying to get underneath of the 42, not going to quite do it yet. Blaine Keys still out front, and out front by a lot as Bartow holds up Reed. And Bartow's going to keep 2nd place. Really interesting thing that happened there. And we might have a caution, and we do. Out on the racetrack, Roger Carruth with damage. Might be Hoffman with some damage, yes. Riley White in the 1. Aaron Walpole all torn up. And Alan Cavagnaro doesn't look like he has any damage. So our first caution in the first lap of the race. Actually been a really long time since we've had a caution in this series, because sorry, I'm not right about that. We had a caution in Daytona yesterday, so sorry about that. Anyway, let's see what happened here. I think I see here Jonathan Skivnicki's 3 wide. Gonna clip Caleb Hoffman. Now for Skivnicki and Wording, who went all track, it's perfectly fine. We'll follow here with Hoffman. It's going to be a good view of this whole thing. He's going to be spun by Skivnicki and comes back into Roger Carruth and Aaron Walpole with damage with Riley White. Right there, getting some damage as well. That's not good for White. He does not have a win. That's not good for Hoffman either. He doesn't have a win, but he is high in the points. But with that crash, he might not be the points leader after this is all said and done. Walpole with a lot of damage in the number 55. And we'll see how it was for him. He had Roger Carruth in his hood and Riley White in his back. So a tough break for those guys. Not too much damage on them, but enough probably to knock them out. Especially Aaron Walpole. He's got a lot of front end damage, and it's really hard to keep on going with that much front end damage. So, make sure these guys don't crash. They were close to doing so. We are under caution for the first time, and the leader is Blaine Keys in a number 42. And we might be seeing pit stops here. So, see if anyone comes in, and most of the guys do, but not the two leaders. Jacob Reed is the first one to go into the very narrow pit road here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm sorry about that thing popping up, but so I don't really like that pit cam, and that really doesn't show it well, so we'll just go with the TV cam of Jacob Reed. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. So, a lot of guys actually just taking gas here. And Mason Powers is going to win the race off of pit road. He's going to be behind Cavagnaro, Spencer, Fitzwater, Wording, Mills, the last winner, Eric Powers, Diego Stevenson, Garrett Senor, Justin Roberts, Trey Bartow, and Blaine Keys. Let's get to the restart here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Steve Byrnes 400. So we got the race one full lap of racing, but the caution came out on the first lap there. Lights are still on the pace car. And now they're off. So, come on. Okay, here we go. For the restart here in Indianapolis, Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Justin Roberts, Garrett Senor, and Diego Stevenson. Here comes Roberts trying to get a position on Bartow. Here comes Senor trying to get a position on Roberts. This is actually another one of those tracks that's very hard to pass at. And they kind of can notice that the outside lane does work fairly well in the corners. Pocono, a similar track to this, considering length and the banking of the corners, has that same problem too. Very hard to pass. Bartow's going to try to defy that logic and get underneath of the 42. Now, we've seen people pull out. Cavagnaro's coming in the pit now. We've seen people pull out here down the backstretch, or front stretch, I should say, and win the race by just a little bit. Here comes Justin Roberts for second underneath of the 4 of Trey Bartow, and that's going to open the door for Senor and Powers, as Stevenson also gets put on the high lane as well. But Blaine Keys has a really powerful car. And here comes Garrett Senor in the number 16. Now, he's one of those guys we really haven't seen much of this season. And we might be seeing some 3 wide. And when 3 wide happens here in Indianapolis, it doesn't work. Powers in the wall hard and upside down into traffic. Oh my goodness gracious, that was a bad one. Oh, and oh my goodness. And Hoffman involved, Skivnicki, Fitzwater. Oh my. Blaine Keys is loving this. Stuart Gratton, I don't know what, I think he came in the pit, and he might actually end, nah, he won't be a leader, because these guys haven't pitted yet. Okay, well, you guys saw it live. Now we're going to see it live again. Well, not live again, but we're going to see it again. And Eric Powers, I have no idea. That's one unfortunate thing about this racetrack. LJ Mills clips him, Powers in the wall, and then he gets tumbled over, and look at the way he hits the fence. That is just unbelievable. And then Matt Dalio hits him, and Spencer involved, Stevenson involved, and like there are like 4 or so cars here that just did not get going. Regan Whitlock in the 3 also has damage. A lot of cars involved in this crash. These are some of the guys that were in the back. So there's like kind of 2 groups here. The first group like led by J.J. Wording, Austin Spencer, Diego Stevenson. You're going to see these guys pull out in front. They're all going to get hit and everything. And then the second group comes in, and they all hit the two. Let's see here. The two of Eric Powers. See, this is ridiculous. This is a very big crash. Hold on just a minute. Okay, we got a good streak of me being interrupted here. Anyway, what was it talking about? Yeah, we got that second group that came in, and a lot of them involved Carruth. I don't know what happened there. And I'm not sure how guys like Regan Whitlock got spun here. This is kind of separate. We'll follow Whitlock here. Of course, it's all happening in front of him. Dallio's going to hit Powers pretty hard. And that's just going to spin Whitlock, and he's going to get some front-end damage there. So is Christian Master and Riley White. And of course, I know a lot of you guys are wanting this. On board of Eric Powers. Hold on tight. Man. Oh, and then that second hit, too. I know not many people like Brad Keselowski, but you all should like Eric Powers, because he isn't as much of an idiot. He isn't an idiot, I should say. Nobody in this series is much of an idiot. Is an idiot. Nobody in the series is an idiot, and nobody in this series is much of an idiot as Brad Keselowski. You should know what I mean by that. But let's follow with Eric Powers again. Tumbling over multiple times. He hit the catch fence on his roof. Long ways. I mean, that's just kind of unbelievable what happened to the two here. LJ Mills clipped him, got turned over into the field, and spinning around. And right there, Dallio hits him hard. And quite a few guys involved in this crash. And I'd like to review it more, but quite a few guys knocked out. Joffrey Toussaint's in the pits. I'm not sure if he was involved or anything, but a lot of these guys are going to be knocked out. And Stuart Gratton's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap because he came in the pit here. I think pit stops were like about to happen. Interesting strategy going on. He's going to go by the pace car. And so is Cavagnaro. Actually, he's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap because he pitted. So he's actually going to stay out. And the rest of these guys are going to come in. Now that we're under caution and everyone is pitting, this is for the lead now. How about Mason Powers? He came in that first time. I believe he got fuel only. He's now up to 5th. Definitely very fast. And Joffrey Toussaint, I'm not exactly sure if this is his pit stop or not, but I think he was involved in that crash, and you can see him there. I like the way those pit crew guys just kind of quickly move back to their positions. Okay, Blaine Keys is the leader, so this is right near the finish. We can see the finish here. And Keys is going to win it back off with Roberts, Bartow, Powers, and Reed, the top 5. So let's get back to the restart. Blaine Keys is still out front. Cavagnaro is still on the tail end of the lead lap. Now this is going to be interesting to see Cavagnaro trying to hold off these guys and get back to the tail end of the lead lap if another caution happens to happen. For guys that are still in, Austin Spencer's got damage, but he's still in. Wording's got damage, but he's still in. We got... I'll pause it just so I don't overshoot it. Diego Stevenson has damage. He's still in. Riley White has damage, so does Whitlock. And then for the guys that don't have damage... Or wait, quite a few of these guys have damage. Only maybe about, I don't know, 12 guys that don't have damage. Because Gratton doesn't have damage. And now since we only have like about 21 or so cars, you might not see any more crashes just because we only got a few cars in the field. Hopefully something like that won't happen again. And 23 cars are on the racetrack with Blaine Keys the leader. So, the 42 of Blaine Keys out front. He started on the pole, and he is still the leader in this race. but he's got Justin Roberts, Trey Bartow, Mason Towers, and Jacob Reed behind him, and Alan Cavagnaro on the tail end of the lead lap in front of him. So here we go. We're not quite halfway through this race yet, and the green flag is back out. Cavagnaro has a fast car. He's pulling away from Blaine Keys in a number 42, and that may open the door for Justin Roberts to get a nose underneath of the 42 and take the lead. Blaine Keys has led every lap so far in this race, but I know a lot of these guys want to take it back from him. Roberts started on the outside pole, and he's going to try to peek out underneath of them, but he's not going to quite do it yet. They are single file, and this is kind of like the Indy 500 style racing, where it's single file packs. Here comes Jacob Reed. He's moving a position under his teammate of Mason Powers. It's Blaine Keys still out front. Roberts pressing the issue, though, trying to get a nose underneath of the 42. Not going to quite do it yet. The halfway point in this race is right now. We are over halfway through. Well, we are halfway through this race now. We've had 2 cautions already. Hopefully we won't have any more. And especially like the ones we saw in the last caution with Eric Powers getting into the catch fence. That's not the first time we've seen a car get into the catch fence here. We've seen a lot of that in Indianapolis. Trey Bartow is going to get a position underneath of Justin Powers. No, what in the world is my problem? Justin Roberts. Blaine Keys pulls away with a large margin again, and Jacob Reed's on a mission here. He's right on the bumper of the 4 trying to get third. So I'm not sure if we will have another pit stop in this race or not. I think we probably will have one more set. We might not. I'm not 100% sure. If you have another caution, they'll definitely come back in, because tires are definitely a big thing. Roberts starting to close back in here on Blaine Keys. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I really don't like being interrupted. That's why I stop every time I get interrupted. Anyway, Justin Roberts in second place, trying to get by the 42 and become only the second leader of this race. There he goes. Trey Bartow right behind this lead battle. Roberts. And Bartow's going to get second from the 42 of Blaine Keys. But Justin Roberts is going to become the second leader of this race. And now we have 10 laps to go here at Indianapolis for the Steve Byrnes 400. A lot of Gibbs guys here. Of course, Alan Cavagnaro is a lap down. But these 2 Gibbs guys here, the 20 of Mason Powers and the 19 of Jacob Reed, battling for position. Roberts out front trying to hold off the 42 and become only the second ever driver to win 2 races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Trey Bartow also racing for that. He won at Pocono, which is a similar track to this. And Bartow looking to become the second driver to win 2 races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Aaron Lukes was the first driver to do that feat. Here comes Blaine Keys back for the lead, underneath of Justin Roberts in the number 38. And Trey Bartow's going to get underneath of the 38 as well. Trey Bartow now looking to take the lead from the 42. Bartow right on the back bumper of the 42. He's going to get a nose underneath of them, and in turn number 3, no, he's not going to do it. Keys still out front in the 42. And Jacob Reed has joined this lead battle here in the number 19. Trying to close in on Justin Roberts in front of him. From the way it looks like we'll be able to go caution-free from this point on. So the lead battle might be between these front guys here. Jacob Reed getting third. Now remember, he dominated at Dover earlier this season. And just because of when the caution came out and who was out front at the time, the pit stops, and all that, didn't really go his way. He lost the race barely to Stuart Grattan. And the lap car of Austin Spencer is going really slow on the track. He's going to have a little bit of a say here in this lead battle. Is Reed going to get by him? Oh boy, they bump. And Reed is slow and he's going to come in the pit. And I think these are pit stops. So we will have another set of pit stops here in Indianapolis. Jacob Reed in the number 19, taking his now. Blaine Keys still out front in the number 42. Bartow's right behind him. You see Jesse Turner also came in the number 43. Justin Roberts in third place. Lap times are significantly slower. Well, for at least him at least. So pit stops are going on. As far as I know, that's what they are doing. And here comes Bartow for the lead underneath of Blaine Keys. But not going to quite pull it off. Going to try to do it in turn 4, and he's going to come in the pit and make his pit stop. Or no, he isn't. Looked like he was going to do that. A couple more guys coming in back here. Cameron Garlington and Stuart Grattan. And now we also see J.J. Wording, Diego Stevenson, Roger Carruth coming in as well. Jacob Reed coming out. Jesse Turner coming out. And here's the lead. The lead car of Blaine Keys. He's actually going to lap. He's going to lap Jesse Turner. Not going to lap Jacob Reed. Jacob Reed is far enough ahead not to get lapped, I do believe. Bartow's still trying to close in on this 42 here. He has not given up for this lead. He's going to get a nose underneath of them here in turn number 3, and he is now going to make his pit stop. So that's Trey Bartow now coming in. Justin Roberts, and actually all the leaders are coming in except for Cody Hagan. Now Cody Hagan is now the leader in this race. He's going to lead this lap. Now it might be interesting to see if any of these guys happen to stay out all the way. I don't think that's going to happen though. That just doesn't seem possible. So Jacob Reed in the 19 was the first guy out the first time around with 2 cars. With those fresher tires, he's getting a better speed than the guys that just recently came in. Blaine Keys finally got to his pit stop. Pit stall. He's at the last pit stall on the very long pit road here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So Bartow's going to be right behind him. If anything, Bartow might actually take the lead from him, and it's not going to be that way. Gabriel Mauricio in the 78 moving up a little bit. But we'll see how this all plays out in relation to Jacob Reed in the 19 who stayed out. So here's Reed in the 19. Now he was one of those guys that was out front. He might be able to catch up. He might get a position on Gabriel Mauricio, but that might not. Yeah, he's not going to get up front to these leaders. Blaine Keys still out front in the 42. Actually, he's not the one out front. Garrett Sonor is actually the one out front right now. Oh, Jacob Reed has a lot of speed. Now he's caught up to this lead battle. He's going to get by Trey Bartow in the 4. He's going to try to at least. We'll see if he can do it. Good race here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And I think Bartow and these guys, they're going to catch up on Blaine Keys, and it's going to be a 3-car battle for the win here at Indianapolis. And don't count the 78 out. He could definitely close in. You definitely get a draft down this long back straightaway, so if Bartow and Reed can work together to get up to that 42, then they might have a shot at winning it. One of them might. They can't both win it. You can only have one winner. Bartow has a run on the 42, trying to get by him. He's going to pull out here. Keys is going to lead the lap, but I think Bartow's going to get the lead coming out of turn number 1. There he goes, and Jacob Reed's going to take advantage of the moment. Blaine Keys down to 3rd place as Trey Bartow takes the lead in the number 4. Who will win the Steve Byrnes 400 here in Indianapolis? Gabriel Marcio closing in on these leaders. We'll see if he can be a factor in these final few laps. Here comes Blaine Keys getting second back from Jacob Reed. His eyes are set on Trey Bartow in front of him. But can Bartow do it in the number 4? He's pulling away from these guys back here. And here comes Gabriel Marcio in the 78. He's moving his way up front. But the 4 is out front by a lot now. Gabriel Marcio is going to get second. That car is fast. He might win this race, actually. We'll see. About 1.5 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Trey Bartow out front and Gabriel Marcio closing behind him. This might be a case where a driver leads only 1 lap, but it happens to be the right one. Bartow's still out front, but Marcio is closing in that 78, a really fast car that Marcio has. He's able to get off the corners a lot better than Trey Bartow. Well, here we go. 23 laps of action, a lot of crashes, the white flag for Trey Bartow in the Steve Byrnes 400. Will he be the leader next time around? Marcio trying to close in on the number 4. He's got a shot. Just get the draft down the backstretch. We will see if he can do it. Trey Bartow trying to win his second ever race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Gabriel Marcio trying to make the chase in the 78. Will it be enough? I don't see this happening. I think Trey Bartow's gonna do it. The 4 of Trey Bartow is going to become only the second ever driver to win 2 races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He wins the Steve Byrnes 400 here in Indianapolis. How about that? Trey Bartow with his second career win on Napa Fan, his second career win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And how about, you got to really give it to Gabriel Marcio, finishing second place. Really wasn't seen that much early in the race, but almost won in that 78. But how about that? Number 4, Trey Bartow, his second win of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and that is going to open the door for another driver to make the chase on points. So look out for that the next couple of days. We'll see how that all plays out. There are the results right there. We had that really big crash on lap 7 or something, but from then on out we raced the whole race green. I'm glad we did. I like it when we have decently long green flag runs in these races. But Trey Bartow able to pull off the win here in Indianapolis. Gabriel Marcio, Blaine Keys, Cody Hagan, Jacob Reed, the top 5. Take a look at the bottom 4 guys here. Caleb Hoffman, Joffrey Toussaint. He was on the pit road literally the whole time throughout the end of that race. And then Cameron Gaydew and Aaron Walpole in the back. And hold on. Okay, I'm sorry about that. The third interruption of this race. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. And congrats to Trey Bartow for winning his second career race. That is definitely a big one there. He will definitely be in the chase no matter what. Of course, if you win a race, you're in the chase no matter what. So, he won a race, so he's in the chase no matter what. Duh. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. And I will see you guys later. Here are the points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.